Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if your name is Sean Diddy Combs, they are saying you are melting down, and for more reasons than we would think. Now, of course, I know what you're thinking. Tisa, he's obviously melting down. Diddy just ended his career, his legacy, probably his hopes of an appeal. Basically think everything you plan, but more importantly, it looks like this documentary and 50 being diabolical actually hit Diddy where it hurt, and that's his pocket. Now, I know what you're thinking. Diddy hasn't worked for like a fortnight, but they are saying it's not even, Diddy hasn't even been in jail for 60 business days, and already his plan B that he thought he was going to use to keep in the public good graces, that documentary destroyed it. What was the plan B? Well, I'm going to read this blind item, but let me give you all a sick hit. The plan B was the kids. The plan B was the kids. See, here's the thing. Diddy always played on the public being like, that's their daddy. They're going to defend him regardless. And yeah, I agree. That's, for them, it's true, right? But the thing about this is with, that's their daddy. Now that we've actually seen what those boys are doing for their daddy, Justin being his right-hand man, baby Diddy, Christian got his own case, and he trying to like literally be like his dad. The twins, they literally decided to not go to college so they could keep a clothing line going. People are saying that Diddy's plan always, because he's always thinking 10 steps ahead. You've seen the documentary. The man seems diabolical, right? Or maybe pathological. The plan was Sean John for the twins to keep a clothing line going, and Diddy would take over once he got out. That the boys, Christian would make rap, that the boys would stay involved in TV, a reality show, anything they needed. So when he got back, there would already be a waiting thing for him to walk in and do his redemption story. Because prior to the 50 Cent doc, everybody was like, Tisa lied. All these people lied. When we now see that nobody lied, Diddy was just running PR. Now listen, if you don't believe me, that's fine. But let me read you this blind item that's super, super interesting. Listen, blind item. Daddy's pawns, the legacy kids on ice. They said, word, Papa Payola thought he had a contingency plan so slick it could survive anything, even scandal. The idea wasn't stadium tours or Madison Square Garden level comeback glitz. Nope. The blueprint was lean, behind-the-scenes lifestyle hustle, music, reality TV, clothing brand moves, some glamour, and a little influencer shine. Tweedledee and Tweedledum up front. The daughters quietly running their brand grind. Right? So I guess Tweedledee and Tweedledum are the sons. All riding the family legacy wave until the old man got his affairs in order. He expected loyalty. He expected fame would rub off. He expected hearts, contracts, and deals would flow once the dust settled. He was basically playing chess with his own children as pawns, attempting to stay relevant and keep that income stream alive through them. But then comes the doc. The 4-part documentary dropped by Netflix and produced by 50 Cent blew the whole castle up from inside. It didn't just drag Payola, it turned the spotlight on the entire family brand. Suddenly, all the calls from labels, silence. Reality TV offers, ghosted. Clothing brand meetings, canceled. Brand deal DMs, left on red. The daughters were supposed to hold things together while he served time. They're reportedly in limbo with their clothing brand, just like their brothers. The whole legacy hustle now feels like a sinking ship drifting without anchors. Industry insiders, the ones who once whispered, let's give them a chance, they don't have nothing to do with their daddy, right? Are now loud with the opposite, saying that the Combs name and everybody in that family right now is radioactive and they're not worth the risk. The name that once opened doors is now a red flag. Because here's the unfiltered truth. When you build an empire on PR, image, and a family facade, and that facade cracks under scrutiny, your legacy team becomes collateral damage. And right now, all Tweedledee and Tweedledum and their sisters are paying the price. Tick tock, the comeback clock didn't just stall, it shattered. Now, here's the weird thing, right? Listen, listen, when your name becomes that toxic, like radioactive, even your bloodline, your arguably talented, definitely beautiful children, sons and daughters are usually enough. Now, here's the thing. I tend to believe this blind item because think about it. Diddy used everybody in his life. Now, his kids say that he was a loving father, right? But then they also did say that he was high for 15, 25 years out of their life. So I don't even know what that's about. The whole point of the matter is Diddy planned, I believe, to use his children to keep the family, the public loving him. In the beginning of the trial, did he not have his sons running amok? I'm gonna tell you what my daddy did, And everybody thought it was heartfelt emotion. Justin, Pops, we love you. Everybody thought it was heartfelt emotion. Now that we see the behind the scenes, we see that they were running a very, very, very skilled and malicious campaign to make sure that their dad was not held accountable for what so many people felt he did. Now, you can argue whether you're a Diddy supporter or not, but at the end of the day, that documentary tied the boys, Justin, Christian, it tied the boys to Diddy's legacy. As far as his daughters, people are actually saying that the reason they chose to skip college and become influencers and start a clothing brand is because Diddy wanted them to start a clothing brand. And it was always thought, well, you can go to college when he comes out, and he takes it over. He expected the public's love for his family would keep the doors open so he could use his kids as a backdoor to get back on the stage. Madison Square? Well, maybe King Combs will be up there, and Diddy will come out as a surprise guest. Now, again, a couple of weeks ago before that doc, you looked at me like I was crazy. But now that we see how maniacal Diddy is, does it not seem that he would do that for his kid? Coming out, hey, I run New York. Wait, is that 50 Cent's? That would be diabolical if Diddy actually came out singing to 50 Cent's song. The point of the matter is, I 100% believe this blind item. I think they are talking about Diddy and his kids. And I think, as sad as it is, Diddy made his kid's name, Combs' name, so radioactive. Right now, nobody wants to touch the kids, and there's a lot of deals drying up. And I also believe that Diddy actually messed with the wrong person and taking on the head of Netflix now that they become the most powerful players in Hollywood. Again, we can argue that the industry players that quietly support Diddy would give his kids another chance. However, like that blind item said, are they worth the risk and the investment when right now and probably for the next year, nobody wants to see a Combs on their screen? And you think about it because the kids should not be held accountable for the sins of their father. But when you watch that documentary, everybody, no, that's not fair. The kids should not be held accountable for the sins of their father, but it's impossible now to distance themselves from the Combs legacy when we saw how much at least Justin and Christian actually played a role, But the girls are young. They can go to college. They can become influencers. They're beautiful. They're model-like. They can do anything they want. The only question is, when it comes to the boys, will they be able to separate themselves from the Combs name? Right now, I doubt it because they clung so hard to it during the trial, running interference. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Regardless, wishing well to everybody involved. But yeah, Diddy thinking he's going to backdoor his way into the public's heart using his children in 2 years, it ain't happening. They're going to have to stage a comeback for the kids' comeback. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.